welcome to the show. It's Wrestling with Entertainment, the only audio experience on the web today, the trusted choice for interviewing all your favorite wrestlers every Tuesday and Wednesday, and previewing and reviewing the latest shows from WWE, AEW, New Japan, and everything in between every Saturday on YouTube and Castbox, sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. I am, of course, your host, that guy, James J., alongside the leader of Squaw Squad, Kaliko Yachts.
Guess who's back? Back again. Squash Squad's back. Hello, friend. I'm on my M&M right there.
You're talking Slim Shady.
Shady M&M is the same. Same white guy from Detroit.
And talking about the same white guy, the American Scooter Dust.
I can swallow a bottle of alcohol and I'll feel like Godzilla. Better hit the deck like the Godzilla. My whole squad's in the party, walking around the which we fuck it, forget it.
A zombie apocalypse.
The preheated is probably the same reason why I wrestle with
Manias. That's a love that. That's my favorite part. One of my favorite parts. Then he puts wrestling.
Too many napkins.
Napkins.
And it was a great week for Wrestling With as we interviewed Congo Kong on Tuesday. Incredible interview. Already one of our most successful interviews. Definitely top 10. And Clara Carter Wednesday, another incredible interview. And it looks like Clara has nothing but upside coming up for her. So we definitely wish both of them the best, and definitely check out those interviews in the archives if you haven't already. This upcoming Tuesday we have Ash Silva from China, or at least he wrestles in China. We talk about his current injury, wrestling in China, how he got injured, being a QVC-like salesman, and being in a movie with Scarlett Johansson. So, a lot to unpack in that interview. And this upcoming Wednesday, we have Solomon Stride from Finland. We talk all things Pro Wrestling Finland, including matches against Starbuck, being in a TV series as well, being an incredible artist in his own right, making his own comic book, and a hell of a lot more. But don't take my word for it. Here's some clips now. Well, that being said, can you tell us that time you were a crooked cop that was romancing a lady in a red dress?
When was this?
It was
in the ring or out of the ring?
Outside the ring. It was a TV show, I want to say, or.
Yeah. Oh, that was a TV show. It was like a local network. Yeah, I was cast as like a crooked cop, and it was set in like the '60s. It was a show based on like a Donnie Yen movie, basically about like '60s gangsters, and I played kind of like a cop who's on the take. So I was being seduced in a sauna. I was in a hot tub with this really hot girl, this actress, and then we get on the massage bed, and she's like we're about to make up, but then it's like all set up. And all these cops come out, and they're like trying to bribe me and shit. Yeah. Not the worst gig in the world.
I usually ask this question because I just love, different cultures, and the best way to learn about a culture is food. So I am genuinely curious. What were you eating in America?
Well, a lot of I have to try some different fast food restaurants. Obviously, I remember Jack in the Box being really good, like super fucking greasy and salty, but it was really fucking good.
Yes, Jack in the Box will take years off your life.
Yeah, 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 exactly.
All right, and then on the 16th, we have Savannah Stone. On the 17th, Madness. On the 23rd, we have Vingan Thunderbolt. On the 24th, we have Guillermo. On Monday, the 29th, yes, a Monday interview, we have Corn Boy Kevin Gutierrez. On the 30th, we have Keyshawn Calloway. On the 31st, we have Zombie Dragon. And then on August 6th, we have Green Phantom. So July already heating up in more ways than one for Wrestling With. Alright, I think we're done putting ourselves over, no, Scooter?
I'd say so.
Alright, let's get into it. On a bit of bad news, not necessarily a great day for wrestling because we are wrestling with the news. Kevin Sullivan having some health issues right now. Even started a GoFundMe at this point. Hopefully, he could kick out at 2, but we do wish him the best. Now, Kaliko?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's getting to that point, man. But hopefully, all these legends, man. I mean, the wrestling community pulls through when it's always time for support. So, and he's a guy who's like one of those super unsung heroes that people don't think about when you think about wrestling, but you think about like the impact he made as a booker. But I mean, just Godspeed and good health. Hopefully, he gets better. We get more time with him because we need him more interact with these legends and more like WrestleCons and WrestleFest, stuff like that.
Definitely. Anything you want to add, Scooter?
No, Kaliko said it perfectly. Everyone thinks of Kevin Sullivan at only a certain point of his career when he's actually been when he's been the unseen hand in the shadows from his time in Florida to WCW and everything and stuff he does with A&E for the Legends stuff as well. Funny story. I randomly ran into Kevin Sullivan at the at the Museum of Natural History here in New York City.
The fuck?
A number of years ago.
That is a very random place to meet Kevin Sullivan.
I know. It was really random.
Okay. On a bit of good news, depending on who you ask, Angel and Humberto have re-signed with WWE. Angel made comments that it was an offer they could not refuse, assuming that it was a big, money contract. Or, I mean, it's WWE, so, they're going to, put out for their wrestlers. And as we covered, I believe 2 weeks ago, Chad Gable also re-signed. What are your thoughts on WWE making offer to maybe lower on the card wrestlers to stay with the company? Kaliko. Nope. Did we lose Kaliko?
No, you didn't.
Oh, okay.
I mean, the lower card is like. I mean, here's the thing, because most people are going to think, oh, well, Chad Gable has to be on top. And the thing is that Chad Gable was involved in a major story angle, in a sense. And his stock value was uberly high. Now, I think it would have been higher had he won the title, turning heel immediately. But I see why they're kind of delayed that part. But not everyone could be at the top of the ticket, right? It's kind of like tiers, and everyone has a tier. Some go up a tier as soon as they get done with the upper tier. They kind of go down a tier or two, and then they got to, get their way up. It's just more like symmetrical with the story. And could Chad Gable be a WWE champion? You can make that argument. The best hot shot is for him to win Money in the Bank, which, in fun fact, I think he's going to win it. And that's the only way you can kind of hot shot. I think that's the only way you can hot shot him in. But when it comes to these re-signings, it's just a matter of attrition at this point, because you're going to need all the steady hands you can get, and the ones that are best served for the company and best have the company in mind. And Chad saying in particular, I mean, he put in the work. So it's not like he's, they were working with him for the contract. I mean, they easily could have did something for like Dijak, but they didn't. I mean, because they just didn't see value in it, in him.
Asked for his release.
Who? Dijak? I mean, he brought it out in the front as if he did, but the way he said it was like they never tried to rework a deal with him. So essentially, he just basically was already out before it was a done deal. Because he showed up at shows the next day, so his contract just ran out.
So there was
otherwise they would have put the 90-day clause.
Yeah. Isn't the 90-day clause even if your contract runs out?
Nope.
If you have it.
Yeah, but in his case, his contract just ran out.
Well, and we were talking, like I said, Angel Garza and Humberto also re-signed. So, like, I always felt like there was a really big upside for Angel. He had a lot of charisma. At one point, I thought that he was, the best Mexican wrestler that they had. Definitely could have been, the next. I don't want to say Eddie Guerrero, but in that, upper echelon. I mean, he still can be, but right now, he's under Santos. So I could definitely see what they might see what I'm seeing as well. But what say you, Scooter?
When it comes to that whole an offer they couldn't refuse, I think that was just Angel having fun. They are right now, I'd say, where Eddie was when he first started in WCW as a cruiserweight. He needs something else to take him to that that next level. Otherwise, he's gonna just be laboring in mid card with Berto for the rest of his career until he ends up in AEW.
And it is seeming very likely that Ricochet will be ending up in AEW unless something major happens. People very much seem under the impression that he is going to AEW. I feel like, considering where AEW is as a company right now, why would you want to leave the biggest pro wrestling company for something like that? Especially if your fiancé is working there as well.
Well, the problem is that let's face it, that Beyonce got more clout in WWE than, or I would say she's more known in WWE than Ricochet. Not, and that's not even a knock to Ricochet. It's more of a indictment of how they position people, right? So, to me, he has to build he's trying in his mind. He feels like he needs to build his reputation to be the Ricochet that was NXT, right? That Ricochet was like off the wall. Ricochet on the main roster, for the most part, has been a start and stop type of deal. And for Ricochet, I don't think it means as much to him being a WWE. I think it meant a lot to him that he tried it. And he's tried, and so now he can say he's tried every pick of the litter, and he can say, and then he can choose to path what's best for him. I don't think it's more of an indictment of, one being better than the other. I just think it's more of an indictment of him wanting to test himself out everywhere.
I kind of fall under the impression of, okay, so yeah, Ricochet, good wrestler. Name one promo that he did with that was memorable. And that's always been, his biggest problem. Good hand pro wrestler, not so great at the stories and the storylines and the promos. And, that's a detriment in WWE. So, maybe...
Well,
huh?
My only issue with that is if it's a detriment, it has to be a detriment of the company because he was more known as the coachable guy. So it's not like, you know what I mean? It's not like he was going to knock the boat, if you will.
I mean, like I said, they tried to give him, those big rivalries, and he never capitalized on them. Never had a good promo. Decent story that could have been great if he would have been a better promo. I mean, even, his last days on WWE, Braun Breaker breaking his ass. It would have been great to see him come back and maybe pop off against Breaker, but, we're not getting that, so... It seems like he'd just be happy doing, the flippy stuff in AEW where there are no stories, you just have matches. Which is what he was the best at in New Japan.
I mean, you can make that perspective side, but my only thing is that if that was the problem, it wasn't a problem of they knew he wasn't going to be the strongest on the mic when they signed him, right? So everything from then on is an institution of more coaching. Because if he's going there knowing he's not the best promo guy, and everybody from all accounts are like he's a good guy, coachable, willing to listen, he's just taking the advice that is being given to him.
Anything you want to add before we get to the next topic, Scooter?
What's Rick O'Shea doing in the Impact Zone?
And that's a great segue to our next piece of news, which is why are the Creed brothers at Bloodsport 11 in New York? They were announced from Josh Barnett's Bloodsport, I believe earlier this week. It is interesting because Shayna Baszler was a part of Bloodsport back in April. So it does seem like there is some type of working relationship between Josh Barnett and WWE at this point. So what are your thoughts on pretty mid-carders at this point, the Creed brothers, getting, a shot at Bloodsport. Scooter.
It's a very interesting set of circumstances. When we thought, cross, promotion, like none of us expected anything like Bloodsport.
I mean, it's not I wouldn't necessarily call Bloodsport a promotion, but more like an event. Um, so, I mean, you're not necessarily. I wouldn't necessarily say you're losing anything on WWE's part by um, lending your talent to not to somebody that's putting on a wrestling event on the indie level. And I don't believe the Creed brothers were on the independents prior to WWE. So it might actually be beneficial for them, to get some repetition. Only considering that they've been a part of WWE. No, Kaliko?
I mean, yeah. But also, give them something to do. I mean, with the tag division trying to shape itself, I mean, give them some exposure, give them another side of them, especially because they're more of the wrestling background, and Bloodsport, of course, is one of those more mixed martial arts, so it kind of gets them to highlight the actual wrestling that they do. And maybe to try to translate that from in-ring into the WWE, and it also could play as a way to give the Creed brothers their mean streak, in a sense. Considering they've been cutting promos about moral victories and they're trying to do whatever it takes. And Bloodsport is definitely an event where you kind of do whatever it takes. So gives them that little, gives them that little, that little don't give a damn in them, right? And hopefully that'll translate into when they go back to the main roster.
The first rule of Bloodsport is we don't talk about Bloodsport.
That's a fun club.
It will be interesting to see who they wrestle, considering that Shayna Baszler wrestled Masha Slamovich in April. So any inkling or idea of who you like to see the Creed brothers wrestle on the Indies, Scooter?
If we're talking the Indies, the team. Are there really any new teams that are driving up interest on the Indies at all?
That's a good question. I think that they're going to have individual matches, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think they do tag team matches in Bloodsport.
No, they don't.
No.
So.
I mean, other than that, not sure what else to not sure what else to say about it.
Okay. Well, when we reported this last bit of news a couple of weeks ago, I thought that it would just be something that we would talk about once. Shane McMahon AEW bound. Um, it's been heavily rumored. Mercedes Monet already said that she's spoken to Shane McMahon, maybe a day or two after Forbidden Door.
They ran into each other at an airport.
I mean, that's mildly convenient, no? Um,
Well, someone someone else has killed those rumors. So
and who was that?
Matt Hardy.
Well, Matt Hardy's not with the company.
Matt Hardy kills rumor of Shane McMahon reaching out to AEW talent. On the latest episode of Matt Hardy's podcast, The Extreme Life of Matt Hardy, the pro wrestling legend claimed he heard the talk of Shane McMahon reaching out to AEW talent was untrue. He's not. I heard from someone. It's not. None of that was true. It's Matt fiction, 100%. It would be wild though. Hardy, yeah, Shane reached out to someone. I said, like, why is all this talk of me and AEW? Why is it going on? People start texting me about it, and this is a Hardy speaks in a very weird, tone. But reaching out to AEW talent, not true, but who did reach out to talent in Chicago? Mustafa Ali.
Why was Mustafa reaching out to talent in Chicago?
Because he lives in Chicago.
Yeah, he used to be a police officer over in Chicago.
Okay. So he's recruiting for TNA?
No, he was just there visiting.
But let's speak on the hypothetical level for just a moment. What would Shane McMahon actually do in AEW if he was to come? He wouldn't be on air. Would he just be on air talent? Would he be doing something behind the scenes?
His ass would be sitting in the parking lot. You feel that?
Yeah. Do you think anyone with the name of McMahon is on that payroll?
Well, somebody had suggested that Vince McMahon should come with Shane McMahon to AEW as a duo. I mean that's a little absurd, but I mean we never thought Vince McMahon would, sell the company, but here we are. So no.
That could be a case, but I don't see Shane. Because Shane, the question is, what would be his usefulness? Because you're not going to put him on as a talent weekly. And he's of a person that would be more of a CEO authoritarian, not authoritarian, but he would be more in the business side per se than the actual wrestling side. To me, I mean, because as much as Shane McMahon probably could wrestle, the question is, who the hell would he wrestle? Who is going to be really?
Yep. I'm not even joking.
I mean, over control of AEW or something? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, but after that, then what? Because let's say the Bucks win, then what? Which the Bucks has every right to say they ain't going over. They ain't letting Shane go over. Then what?
Well, that would have to be a question for another time, I would think.
You just had like 88 heel face turns in a week with AEW, let alone. Like I don't trust them long term. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah,
With long term storytelling.
and I get that. It's it's just it's quick. It's easy to dismiss it, but it's also easy to say stranger things have happened in pro wrestling. So maybe those.
That is true. That's true. Pro wrestling is like college football. Anything that has happened, there's probably a story for it. But but in the sense of Shane McMahon, it just seems like he's so. If they even ever to sign him, his story would be so limited that because at least like if Ricochet joins AEW, he has the claim as a wrestler, so he could wrestle other people with different styles and move himself up the quote unquote rankings that matter but don't matter, and at least make a case for it. With Shane, it's going to be the eye is always going to be on Shane and what is he doing? Is he here because of backstage shit or is he here of talent shit? And if he's here of being a talent shit, the talent shit and the backstage shit is always going to overlap. So that's where, you know what I mean?
Right.
So it's going to bring more distraction than it will, it's going to bring more eyeballs because of the distraction, but more people are going to be more focused on the distraction than actually the wrestling product itself.
Right. And speaking of wrestling, Money in the Bank is later today. We did the whole preview last week on the show, but you were not here, so I would like to get your opinion on who will win the men and women Money in the Bank ladder matches, considering since we did the preview, all participants are now announced. So, Kaliko, the women's Money in the Bank contract. Io Sky, Chelsea Green, Lyra Valkyria, Tiffany Stratton, Naomi, and Zoe Starks. Who wins?
Ooh, my heart is saying Chelsea Green. My mind is yelling Tiffy time.
Are those your? Yeah.
I can make the case for both of them. Chelsea Green winning it because it puts her in the position that she actually is the best fit for. A person with the briefcase, and she can actually hold it longer than usual because I think the longest a woman ever held that briefcase is been like a couple months? And that was Carmella because they had to redo it 13 times, but that's a whole other thing. But she could be something where it's delayed, right? Like we'll get there down the road. Tiffy is interesting because of the whole Nia Jax Tiffy Bayley thing, right? Where Tiffy could win it and cash it at SummerSlam. I could literally see that happening as a scenario. So in my mind, it seems like Tiffy is the best choice. I'm going to go on a limb and say Chelsea Green because I think it's going to be a long-term cash-in.
Scooter?
First of all, I love the fact that we have new, relatively new participants for this year.
I think only Io and Naomi have actually Zoe's been in one as well. But
well, it's not like the big four. I get what he's saying. Yeah. The people where it seems so overshadowing that they could win.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That being said, this is the dynamic between Chelsea Green and Tiffany Stratton. It seems like it's so much of a collision course that it weirdly cancels. They weirdly cancel each other out, and this is why I think it's neither going to be Green or Stratton. I think Elo's going to win it again.
Who's your second?
Ooh.
Who's your second pick?
Wait a minute, we got picks?
Yeah, two
We
picks.
got more than one pick?
Yes.
Motherfucker.
I thought you went with Chelsea Green. I thought it was Chelsea Green and Tiffany Stratton was your two picks.
Oh, okay. Well, shit, that's the record show. I thought I only had one. My bad. My bad, Scooter. I'm sorry.
My runner-up would probably be Chelsea, but she wins it by accident, like Otis.
That would be interesting. So, this is how I kind of saw things. I could see them definitely giving it to Chelsea Green, just for the pop she'll get for winning it in Canada, considering, she is Canadian. And I would have, if this was like maybe 2-3 months ago, I would have told you it wasn't even a question. We were getting Tiffy in the bank. But since, she had that, backlash from that video a couple months ago, it does really feel like they've cooled off on her somewhat. Not to say that she isn't in storylines, but it does seem like she has been taking a back seat as of late. So,
almost like Nakamura.
I could definitely see them maybe saying, well, maybe let's just wait and see for a minute. So, the other name that they've been really pushing and, getting behind is Valkyria. It would not surprise me if they decided to go with Valkyria in this position. Also considering the last person to hold the Money in the Bank was indeed a heel. So my two picks were Chelsea Green and Lara Valkyria. Zoe Starks wasn't announced when I made that pick, but I don't necessarily see Zoe being a factor in the match, if I'm being honest. Alright, and I mean, that's a good question. Do you see Zoe being a factor in the match? Could they be going with Zoe, or?
Watch that. Watch that they decide to put Trish in the match.
Yeah, that's right. She has been announced.
She's hosting. So watch they give it to Trish.
I feel like that's a Vince McMahon thing rather than a Triple H thing.
Well, I mean, 2 weeks ago, I would have said, I would have had a different opinion on the men's Money in the Bank than I would now, because that's almost the type of thing I would have expected heel Roman to do.
Well, let's talk about it. The men's Money in the Bank ladder match. We got Jey Uso Carmelo Hayes, Andrade, Chad Gable, LA Knight, and Drew McIntyre. Who wins Kaliko?
My two picks would be, and before I go there, I'll give you the reason why no one else is going to win. I don't think Uso's going to win because I think the Wyatts are going to fuck him over. Weirdly enough, I think they're going to fuck him over. The Melo's not there yet. Andrade's not there. Punk fucks over McIntyre. So therefore, it's Knight or Gable. I think Gable wins it. It'll be Gable or Knight. Because Knight felt like a super shoe-in last year. And we ended up getting Priest, which was so left field. So I think it's Gable or Knight.
What say you, Scooter?
Again, 5 out of 6, 4 out of 6 have never been in a
Money in the Bank.
Money in the Bank match. My biggest fear is they're gonna use this to try and force Andrade over.
Oh God, no.
Oh wait a minute. Hold on. That's just watch Charlotte come back. and when it
For Andrade?
Jey Uso has a reason to win it. Carmelo doesn't have a reason to win it. Andrade doesn't have a reason to win it. Gable has a reason to win it. Knight has a reason to win it. McIntyre has a reason to win it. What I would have expected was be give it to Drew and then keep on having Drew match Punk's achievements. But this is a it seems like McIntyre is a shoo-in not to win.
Right.
So Gable or Knight. If Gable wins, we know why he didn't go over Sammy.
Yeah.
If LA Knight, last year I thought it was his year. He also has kind of fallen off a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit. So if Knight were to if Knight were to win, could God damn. I think we're gonna end up seeing another all of a sudden. Well, no. Would the Wyatt sick end up face turning Gable?
That's a good question.
Or would they continue to fall into the heel? I'm also wondering if they are ballsy enough to put another person in the match. They've done it They've done it before. Watch it be Bo Dallas.
Ooh. I think he would be Taylor. Taylor Rotunda.
Yeah, it's unsure. Yeah, I don't think we've. I don't think his actual non-masked gimmick name has been revealed. But well, all these people. Like, I want to say Gable. I want Gable to win, Knight to runner-up, but I also expect a 7th entrant.
Okay. So who did you say was runner-up?
Knight.
Knight. Okay. So last week I was very much under the assumption that it could be Jey Uso or Chad Gable. I could very much make the argument that LA Knight doesn't need it. He's in a rivalry with what is his name? Logan Paul.
Logan Paul.
So I could definitely see him Logan Paul coming into the match and screwing him just when he's about to get the briefcase.
True.
Then like you said, CM Punk might come in to screw McIntyre. That kind of seems very clusterfuckery if you have Logan Paul and CM Punk, just coming into the match and screwing guys over. So what would make more? What would make?
It would make.
Yeah.
It makes sense in the sense that. It makes sense in the sense that those two people are so, because WWE has done a masterful job of people being so hateful that they don't give a damn who they fucking over. Or who wins. I just want to fuck over the other person so bad. So you could easily see the case for three targets, and that's why I said specifically the Punk and McIntyre, the Logan Paul and LA Knight. And to me, I'm thinking it's going to be Jay, and Jay is going to be in the crosshairs of the Wyatts, because the false prophet who berate and belittle their families is a line that I cannot, that doesn't get over my head, because it seems like it's Gable, but Gable's not related to any of them.
Right.
And that's where I'm like,
But
right.
Yeah, and Jey Uso was going to be the
Trying to be this tribal chief.
Yes, so false prophet.
So and that's why I could see that angle. And if you were ever to have a clusterfucker like that, Money in the Bank or Royal Rumble, I think are the two events where people are okay with it.
I kind of agree with you, but when it comes to too much in one match, I feel like, especially when it comes to people that aren't technically in the match, it would be a lot.
You know what? I just thought of something.
Yeah.
Yeah. What would be more embarrassing to McIntyre than Punk costing him the match?
Costing him to cash it?
No. McIntyre retrieves the briefcase. Here comes Punk. God damn it! What is that? McIntyre retrieves the briefcase. Here comes Punk. Punk tells him to open the case. There's nothing in it. There's no contract. Punk holds it up.
Okay.
Like, sorry, gotta restart.
You know, if I would have said when Drew McIntyre qualified that, you know, there's no really discussion. Drew McIntyre would win the match. He's Drew McIntyre. But I also could have made that argument for Clash at the Castle, you know, that there was no other option. Drew had to win the title, but you know, here we are. It kind of, I completely understand where Drew is the type of character that he needs something to complain about, and but at what point does he get something in return? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I mean, it will get something in return. He just wants to make sure. Yeah, they want to make sure that Punk is 100% before they
Right.
if they pull. Also, by the way, I think Knight is interchangeable with Randy Orton and Kevin Owens here. So if you had Orton and if Knight wasn't in this match, it'd be Orton or Owens, and
Yeah, Randy has a bad back. He doesn't need to go bumping off of ladders. Been there, done that. So I went with Chad Gable as my number one and Jey Uso as my number two. I feel like Drew McIntyre changes that somewhat, but I also wouldn't feel comfortable going with him considering, you know, where he's been in the past. So I'm going to stay with Chad Gable or Jey Uso for the W. Alright, and we will see later today if these predictions are true, if they're bull. For all we know, Andrade and Naomi will be our Money in the Bank briefcase holders. Nobody will see that coming. Alright, and now a quick word from our sponsors. So,
Rogue Energy, the only gaming drink company in the world with 4 unique product lines to suit your task at hand, whether it be juices, shakes, smoothies, and everything else in between. Their low-calorie, no-sugar energy formula is the perfect alternative to sugar-filled canned energy drinks and sodas. Their extreme formula provides the most energy, focus, and sports performance possible. Their hydration line offers focus, ingredients without the added caffeine. Drink it anytime you're thirsty. And their shake formula is so delicious. Who doesn't love a cookies and cream, 0-calorie energy milkshake? First and foremost, they've designed every Rogue product line with performance and effectiveness in mind. It is critical that you look at the nutrition panels of drinks when comparing options. There are countless off-brands out there that are presenting low-quality, poorly dosed formulas that amount to expensive caffeine water. Every formula they produce is designed with optimal levels of high-quality ingredients. Additionally, you won't find a powdered gaming drink brand that dissolves better. No need to have chalky textures in your drink. Their taste profiles are unmatched, specifically designed for gamers, athletes, students, entrepreneurs, people with hectic schedules, individuals with low energy, podcasters who can't shut up, people who are health conscious, and so much more. Great as both a pre-workout and as a coffee energy drink replacement. Specifically designed every Rogue product line to be the best gaming drink on the planet. Rogue Energy, more focus, more wins.
use promo code WRESTLINGWITHE for 10% off your next purchase. And we are wrestling with AEW Forbidden in Your House 2024. It was last Sunday. It took place at the USB Arena in Elmos, New York.
in Belmont, New York. Unfortunately, it got pulled out halfway, so they didn't save, all the data on that USB.
Some of the files got corrupted. Yeah.
It turned out it was only a 32 megabyte.
And they needed 64, but it only holds up to 57. So yeah, these are AEW problems. They had 11,000 in attendance, which is actually pretty good for AEW, considering that they only go like 5,000 at the max at this point.
Yeah. My friend there, I said, does it feel like it's like a war zone or something? Like it's and he goes, no, it's actually kind of it's full. It's it's not many empty seats.
Yeah. So I mean, it does seem like AEW, when it comes to at least the paid previews, they do pretty well. Everything else is kind of falls to the wayside. Agree? Disagree, Kaliko?
I mean, yeah, agree. I mean, watching it, it was pretty okay. Pretty okay.
What say you, Scooter? What did you think of the show as a whole?
It was a whole of some kind.
Shit.
Eventually, the shit ain't that forbidden anymore.
Oh Lord. Oh, the forbidden back door? Oh Lord, help me, Lord Jesus.
I mean, by now it's lost its luster.
I don't think it's ever necessarily had its luster at this point. So, I actually liked this paid preview. I enjoyed what I saw. Keep in mind, it was a 5.5 hour show, and I only watched 3 hours of it, so I pretty much passed on half of it. But what I saw was I'd say was positive in my view. Sometimes you just don't want to dig through the shit to get to the diamonds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is Kaliko vacuuming?
No.
Do it sound like vacuuming or like your air conditioner on?
He's in a wind tunnel.
Huh.
Maybe I'm going through the vortex of trying to go back to where I didn't watch the show.
Alright, well, let's go back into our vortex to review this show. We got MJ Jerkoff versus he's a Cheerio from Smell because he's a smelly boy. Smelly boy.
Oh my God! No! Bad James! No!
MJF won the match. Scooter, I think you're the only one that actually watched this match. What are your thoughts?
No, I did not. Mainly because I'm wondering what the hell is the purpose of this match.
True that. What the fuck?
Is this AEW versus New Japan, or this is AEW versus CMLL? Pick a. They gotta. They gotta pick. They can't. They can't be fighting with multiple organizations in one show. too much to keep track of.
I think it would have been better if he would have maybe wrestled. I'm not a big Cheerio fan, so maybe if he wrestled Frosted Flakes or he Apple Jacks, that would have been a better match.
No, because then he just would have gone Fruit Loops. Either way, High Cicero, High Ice Row,
He Cheerio.
Cheerio.
Who's that jumping out the sky? Are you why? He Cheerio. Here we go.
Are they the strawberry banana Cheerios? Are they the frosted vanilla? The
Plain white
prune?
Cheerios.
Chocolate.
Yeah, who gives a shit about this match?
Kaliko, how many stars do you give this match?
I mean, it's a 2 because we knew who was gonna win.
Scooter, how many stars do you give this match?
They haven't invented a number low enough yet. So I will give this -5 just because I'm an asshole.
I will give this 5 Cheerios. It's truly the highest honor I could give it.
Sorry, but there are
I
Cheerios.
thought we were making a match about Cheerios. I mean, I like the chocolate Cheerios personally.
I don't think I've had chocolate Cheerios. It sounds good, but...
Oh yeah, chocolate Cheerios, chocolate frosted flakes.
Yeah, there's the chocolate Cheerios, there's peanut butter chocolate Cheerios, there's chocolate banana Cheerios, there's chocolate asshole Cheerios, and
Pretty much. I mean, they have to expand that market.
Talking
Yeah,
about
I
chocolate
think
assholes...
wait. I have one more joke. The chocolate alphabets, and I thought my alphabets were spoiling Forbidden Door for me. But when I looked down and read, all it said was ooh, and I forgot I was eating Cheerios.
Well, talking about Cheerios, a-holes, we're talking about the Young Bucks, the Elite, Matt and Nick Jackson, the Young Fucks, with Kazuchika Okada.
Nada.
No.
Nada anymore.
Because since he's came to AEW, he's just been Okada. Oh god, that's it. He's Okada. Kazuchika Okada. They defeated the Acclaimed, Anthony Bell Movement, Max Caster, and
Max castrated,
and Hiroshi Tanahashi in 13 minutes. This was another match I did not see. Kaliko, what was your thoughts on it?
I thought they would have highlighted the Okada Tanahashi rivalry more, as this is the first time that he actually was able to see Tanahashi since he left New Japan. I thought that would have been a better highlight. Playing it back, I don't think that people kind of care about the EVP gimmick anymore.
I can make the argument that they've never really cared about this gimmick.
That is a good point. But, I mean, they would have cared more had they ended Sting's undefeated streak. But
I feel like that's a bit
A little bit. I'm not saying it would have been gargantuan. I'm not saying it would have went from C to A plus, but it would have went from a D minus to a D plus. It makes a difference because they could have actually been like, we're the motherfuckers that retired Sting, and they could have used that like kind of like how Baron Corbin was supposed to use retiring Angle, and it just went down the shitter. But anyways, going back to the match, yeah, it didn't highlight that, so it was kind of like, what was the point of the match? Because they could have just substituted Tanahashi for Daddy Ass and went on about their way.
Rachel? Scooter?
Yeah, it's the whole AEW trying to follow the New Japan rule of get everybody on the card. Except they. This is a prime example of a booking, an unspoken booking rule that placement matters. Placement of the match matters. And it's getting to a point where putting the somebody who was supposed to be a big star like Okada, or somebody with clout in the company like the Elite, that putting them on first is becoming more of a perk for them instead of wanting to actually tell a good match. The order of the match, the order of the card itself is the third most important thing to telling the story after the match itself and the referee. It's just overhyped, overstuffed, and just over. Okada won't survive on his own.
I mean, we wouldn't know if they gave him the chance at this point. I still just go back to the fact that between Will Ospreay, Mercedes, and Okada, Joe Henry did 7 million views. While them combined didn't get to 7 million views. Like, there's something wrong with that, or at least there should be something wrong with that. But it's just a matter of how you present people. I mean, Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu, I mean, they were practically mid-carders unknowns to WWE, and they brought them in like burning houses. Like, they immediately made them stars. Jacob beat the hell out of Cody Rhodes. Tama Tonga got a W on Randy Orton. So, I mean, if you present people in the right way, yeah, they could become stars. But when you just have, major stars wrestling mid-carders in 20-minute matches, it doesn't necessarily make you, it doesn't really show off what you can actually do.
Especially when it's only 13 minutes.
Exactly.
But it was also the timing of those, too. Like, Okada was introduced in Bonefuck, Georgia. And then, that is like the biggest head shaker I've ever had. Like, someone who was but that also set the tone of his ceiling, right?
Right.
inadvertently they set the tone of his ceiling.
Yeah, but for anybody who watched Dynamite this past Wednesday, what the fuck was Okada doing DJing with his belt as if it was taunting the Acclaimed? It made no goddamn sense. It was like he was dancing to the Acclaimed music.
I have no clue. I couldn't tell you. And all that stuff seems like it's so beneath him because when we think Okada, we're thinking showman Okada. Like the money popping out and yeah, all that still happens, but it seemed like
1 hour matches with Kenny Omega.
The demeanor went away with it as well, right?
Yeah.
It seems like everything's there but the demeanor.
We know Caesar.
So I mean, I don't know. And Joe Hendry shit was just timing. Timing is perfect.
Kaliko, how many stars do you give this?
2.
Scooter?
1.5.
I give it 1 because I didn't see it. Alright. Then we have men's Owen Hart Cup tournament first round match. Don't Call Me Daniel Bryan Danielson versus Shingo. He defeated Shingo Takagi in 8 by submission in 20 minutes and 20 seconds. Great opener to the show. I think normally I don't like watching Bryan Danielson matches because they go too long, but this was pretty much as New Japan as it kind of gets, especially for AEW. I thought it was pretty decent. It held my attention for most of the time. What say you, Kaliko?
Why was Takagi in this tournament?
Good question.
That's my question. So it makes no sense.
Well, if it makes
So
sense,
it
it would be AEW now, wouldn't it? Right, Scooter?
Yeah, again, why was Takagi in this match? In this tournament, rather. That being said, Danielson at this point is now only he's really only competing with himself. He's his own harshest. He's his own worst enemy. He's his own harshest critic, and he essentially is. He's gonna talk up a lot of stuff that essentially isn't gonna matter no matter how much he tries. Good that Bryan Danielson, advanced. Other than that, doesn't matter.
How many stars do you give the match, Kaliko?
I mean, it's a 3 because it was a good match. I'm not saying that it was a bad match. It's just the fact that the people that they put in the tournament, it seems so predictable who's going to win what, right? And that was the problem. So Danielson winning was the right move. It's just that they just put Takagi in there to give him a challenge, I guess. A 3.
Scooter?
I'll give it 3 also.
I will also give it 3. Then we have the AEW Women's World Championship match. Timeless Tony Storm with Lex Luger defeated Marina Saiwagawa. Mariah Carey was at ringside to support both participants. Tony Storm won the match in 11 minutes and 40 seconds. I don't think I've ever watched a women's match that I wanted to see that had nothing to do with the actual match. We knew why we watched this match. We knew why we
Everyone knew why they watched this match.
We knew why we wanted to watch the match.
HLA.
Honestly, I will say this. If there's one thing AEW got right in this pay-per-view, they got me interested in a lot more female wrestlers than I needed to be.
Oddly enough, during this match, Jurgen's stock went up tenfold. Jurgens and Kleenex.
Yeah, especially for that match. I mean, yeah, it was a good match for the right person. But
Now, can we pair them with the Acclaimed?
no, please don't do them like that. Please.
Oh, come on. They're the ones.
Please.
No.
They're the ones who. They're the ones who really need the scissors.
Well,
That is true.
right. It definitely did not disappoint. It did have some drama. While I knew Tony Storm was going to win, I could also see, for storyline purposes, that maybe if there was anybody to give it to, it would have been Mina. But it's Tony. But I don't think the match disappointed. It's everything everybody wanted it to be and more. How many stars do you give it, Kaliko?
I don't think there's any much. I think this might be the best star match that they ever had in my history. But it also plays into the underlying current that Mariah may win this tournament and actually face Tony Storm. That might be, like, keep that in the back of your head. But star-wise, best star, that 5, just at the end alone.
Scooter?
And I'll pop a can to that.
Scooter?
I will. Can I give it 69 stars?
Sure you can.
Yes.
69 stars.
Gangsta Boo, shout out, rest in peace. She had an album called Both Worlds Star 69.
I give this match 5 stars as well. I think this is the first match in AEW history that we've given 5 stars to.
And it ain't because of the match.
Yeah. Going from
Unfortunate.
arguably, the best thing that AEW's ever done in its entire history, to Zack Sabre Jr. defeating freshly pooped Orange Cassidy in 16 minutes and 20 seconds. I don't know why this was on the card. I don't know why it was as long as 16 minutes. Yeah. This was not something that definitely interested me. Kaliko?
I still am trying to figure out. I mean, I knew Zack Sabre Jr. was going to win because he's Mr. 50-50. I mean, it's 50-50. He's like, he ain't coming out to lose no orange juice. But the point is like, yeah, these offer dream matches, but I'm just trying to figure out, is that going to propel him in the G1? Is that going to give him momentum? And then here's the other thing, what happens to Orange Cassidy? Because he's been having his ass handed to him. Like, he's been having his ass whooped over these last couple months.
I don't think it matters. Well, I don't think this match mattered going into the G1. I think, as you said, Zack is Mr. 50-50. So he goes back to Japan, and Orange Cassidy goes back to Black. Scooter.
Three stars.
So literally no comment on the match, just 3 stars.
No. It seems like this happens every year. Orange Cassidy, Zack Sabre Jr. This is what, second time, third time?
Something like that, yeah.
At Forbidden Door?
They've had a couple matches, even though they were billing it as first time ever.
No.
First time ever in AEW history.
Alright, how many stars do you give this one, Kaliko?
Half a star because it's 50-50.
I give it 1 star because I didn't want to see it. And it made no sense on this, and it still doesn't make any sense. Alright,
So, but to give credit, Zack Sabre did exactly what he needed to do and his submission move at the end was really good. I will give him that.
and yet you still just gave him a half a star.
Dang, one move isn't indicative of the match, sir.
Alright, then we have Fishhook, Samoa Joe, and Katsuri Shibata Bread. They defeated Chris Jericho, NDA is Jericho, Medium Bill, and Jeff Corn on the Cob, with Brian Keith in their corner in 14 minutes. Why the fuck Jeff Cobb was in this match, I have no idea. Still doesn't make sense to me. But I will say the right person won in the right way, which you can't always say during AEW matches. What say you?
How dare you? I mean, yeah, but am I the only one, or is like Jericho getting these go away chants like Joe Biden in the debate? Like, it's like
as Joe Biden at this point.
It's like, get the fuck away. And you know what's funny? You still got it. No, you don't. I was like, what the fuck? What the fuck is going down right now?
I really want to ask Chris Jericho if he has happened to have gone retarded.
Why?
That's the whole learning street gimmick. It's like,
I mean, it's not going good. But my thing is that I think it's because Jericho has never taken a break. I feel like Jericho suffers from like kind of like how Drake is suffering in a sense, and I'm just gonna analogize it. Since day one, when has Jericho ever taken a break from AEW?
And when has he not been overshadowed by Lil Wayne?
Like that's the thing. He's never been gone for people. So yeah, he's never really been gone for an extensive period of time.
The 2 years prior to Save Us Y2K.
Yeah, that was probably his longest hiatus. So to me, him being there every day for the last 5 years, nonstop with different gimmicks and different ideas, people kind of get resentful to it.
Yeah, he acts very condescending. Like he talks to the audience literally as if they're idiots. Like, and it's like Jericho's like, well, look at me, I've changed. You have to respect me now. You know, and that's why Chris Jericho seems to have so many gimmicks in AEW. I mean, unless, you know, Fossey just said we don't want you using Judas anymore.
Isn't he the leader of Judas?
He's the lead singer of Fossey.
Yeah.
I mean, lead singer, you're the leader. Like Gwen Stefani was the lead singer. She was the fucking leader.
It's
such a weird analogy. Like, out of all the people you could have picked.
Yeah,
Gwen Stefani. Everybody knows No Doubt, Mopo.
Yeah, except No Doubt have been together since they were like in high school. So.
And I mean, she left like years ago.
And you haven't heard from No Doubt since.
No, we just heard from Blake Shelton.
Right?
That's yeah. Very true.
Long necks and rednecks. How many stars do you give this, Kaliko?
I mean, Hook got the win too, but the thing is like, where are they gonna go with it? And that's what I'm trying to figure out. Where are they gonna go with it? And poor Jeff Cobb. Because they're like, if I was Jeff Cobb, I'd be like, motherfucker, New Japan, you owe me winning the block because of this shit. But that'll never happen.
That Cobb has never won a match in AEW.
That is insane.
That is insane.
Considering how overpowered they make him in New Japan.
And who he's wrestled in on AEW TV.
Very true.
And considering that
His first AEW match was Mox.
I mean, now you got okay. Now I'm about to because now I'm about to find this out. And if this motherfucker got more wins than him, he just needs to lose altogether. And I swear to God, well, we'll go there. Y'all just keep going. I'm just got some things to look up.
I give this match 3 stars simply for the finish. It wasn't too long, so it was decent. Compared to what it could have been. Alright, now we have a ladder match for the vacant TNT Championship. Jack Perry the Platypus defeated Colt Kutska, Take Shitta, Mark Briscoe, Dante's Inferno Martin, Leo rushed to leave the arena, and El Phantasmo in 16 minutes and 55 seconds. This is nepotism showing. I don't think anybody thought that anybody but Jack Perry was going to win this match, and you were right. He did win. It's a ladder match. It's going to be chaos. I don't necessarily think that they did anything new or interesting compared to other ladder matches, especially AEW ladder matches. But that's just me. Kaliko?
Before I go there, so Vincent has more wins in AEW than Jeff Cobb, and he only has 1. So there you go. I'm done. Okay, so just let that be on the record. But yeah, it was chaos. The spot with the Briscoe damn near breaking, taking a shit on his rib cage was something to behold. Leo Rush did his thing. Everybody did their thing. It just seemed like, based on the field, it just seemed like it was Jack Perry's to win.
I mean, they could have given it to Take a Shitta.
Nah, because to be quite honest, to show how kind of backwards this was, they were going to give him the title. They might as well have gave him the title instead of doing the heel, because that would have made more sense as a heel than be in a ladder match and win the bitch. But okay.
I mean, that's why Chris Daniels is where he is, so that something like that doesn't have to happen storyline.
No, it's storyline that made more sense. Being given the title and then
They tried.
Yeah.
And what the? I know, that's what I'm saying. They tried it and it didn't go, and they should have just stuck with that. That's what I'm saying.
But I mean, the idea of if you want to give it to him, he's got to win it. So.
And who the fuck gave Chris Daniels power in AEW? When did that become a thing?
Thank you. What the fuck? Like that's another thing.
Tony Khan.
Who the? In the words of Carter, who the fuck is this guy? And who told him what the? Who the fuck gave this guy power to do anything?
Because they needed somebody they thought was recognizable and looked like Adam Pearce.
Oh, okay, that makes perfect sense.
But I also have to say that Mark Briscoe continues to give hope for his toothless brethren like me.
Yes.
So, chim chim to no teeth.
And Mark. I mean, if you were going to go with a sentimental win, I mean, Mark Briscoe would have been the guy to give it.
But then you have another double champion.
Yeah, how many fucking double champions they want in this bitch?
What championship does he have?
The Ring
of Honor
World Title.
He's the Ring of Honor champion.
Shit, I didn't even know that. Okay, well, never mind. Nico, how many stars?
Give it a 3 because of the action. A couple of high flyers that made it. Take a Shit Up was the ground anchor. Perry was the shitty heel that won. So it filled out what it's supposed to do.
Scooter?
Don't you wanna want the Fanta Smo? Don't you wanna want the Fanta Smo? Yeah, I honestly kind of forgot that Jack Perry was in the match.
He won.
I actually thought, because I did not watch this match, so I thought it was Jack Perry running into the match.
He was in the match.
And he brute forced his way in.
Brock Lesnar his way to the title.
You know, I did watch this match from the beginning, but then I saw Colt Kutska, so that it prompted me to take a shitter. So I was not able to finish the match, to see the finish. That being said, I still give it 3 stars.
I hope you lit a matcha, and remember to wipe her.
I have a bidet.
Just wait until you're married and you have his and her bidets and you're holding each other's hands while you're each having your assholes cleaned.
Oh God.
That's no, that is now illegal. Now we have a winner takes all match for the AEW That Bitch Show Championship and the New Japan Strong Women's Championship. Mercedes Marnette defeated Stephanie Rancor, who is also from
Liquor.
back her, I hardly know her.
Yes, she is also from Smell, so she's just a smelly girl.
No, she,
Girl.
but she's technically from New Japan for this match.
I mean, technically she was representing, but she is also the Smell.
Really,
Women's Champion.
CMLL.
Yeah.
She's a CMLL.
So, in other words, it didn't really matter because nobody knows who the fuck she is!
Oh, I saw that Instagram. I know who the fuck she is now.
And I've seen her quite a few times.
So I'm saying, like, shit, I know who she be now.
Match, you know who she is, so.
Has she pulled out her titties at all?
She doesn't have an. She's not an OnlyFans girl. She's not Mina Sakazawa. Blah 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 blah.
Excuse me for a minute.
Wait a minute, Mina Sakazawa has a lawyer?
Not that I know of.
Oh, I was about to say, boy, don't play me.
But fun fact, Tony Storm and I believe Mariah May does.
Tony Storm shut down as soon as she.
Yeah, she shut that shit down. Yeah.
I can always run my my OnlyFans scraper program and figure out who's got what.
Back to the match. It was revealed earlier in the day during an interview that Mercedes has creative control in AEW. That wasn't prevalent in this match, no? You don't think that she's been abusing that since she's been there? Dream matches, and 2 of them she won titles in them. Kaliko.
Well, no. Because this one, you should know, James, we were there. I told you, they coming back for that ass. There's some dates that she got. There's some dates that she owed due to Willow breaking her leg. So this was bound to happen. And now they're like, I personally think they just gave it to her because they could get the 2-for-1 special.
But I mean, if you seem to remember in that tournament, she beat Stephanie to get to Willow. So I mean, it wasn't like she had a grudge against her.
I mean, yeah, but the thing is just that, you know, shit happens. Willow had the belt, then it didn't have the belt. Then she went to AEW because obviously she's found more success in AEW than New Japan. And then she got the belt, and then Mercedes was like, I want that get back, bitch. And then New Japan was like, cool, we want our get back, bitch. Come fill these dates. So it's all get back. It's get back. It's the get back of the get back.
Scooter, any comments?
When's Julia getting here?
Julia's going to WWE at last time.
I know. Meaning, when can I change the channel?
I feel like when it comes to AEW's women's division, you turn the TV on for those matches.
Yes, I locked the door, I turned down the lights, I light a couple candles. Oops. Never mind.
Kaliko, how many stars?
3.5. The person that I knew was gonna win. Britt Baker comes out, her fireworks pop out, and she leaves.
Yeah.
Confusing as fuck for me.
Couldn't agree more.
Well, I mean, considering that the promo war they had on Dynamite, where Britt wiped the floor with her. My God. If you never realized how awful she was at cutting promos, now you do. Because there was no way there's no way anybody could say from that promo battle on Dynamite that Mercedes was better.
You're gonna have me googling that later. That sounds interesting.
Well, it's gonna be. I mean, it's just figuring out where the hell they're gonna go on there, and they're kind of coming in from the right angle. I mean, Baker's literally the first AEW hire. If anybody's got a right to fucking get in that ass, it would be her.
Very true.
Like, and also, wait, what's this thing that they're doing with her? Follow the Monet?
Follow the Monet?
All on the money.
Yeah, follow the Monet. It's like a QR code thing.
Oh God, that sounds
Some,
terrible.
I'm too lazy to lift up my phone and point it at another QR code. That doesn't mean anything.
I mean, but honestly, at this point, I don't think it's starting to become that the women's division is starting to be like WCW in the sense that they're bringing in these WWE people, and the WWE people are not really connecting with the fans in the way that the fans think that they should be connected with them. Therefore, they're not really caring about them. Kind of like how Saraya came in and touted her WWE accomplishments, like AEW fans gave a fuck, and then you got the fact that Mercedes Moné is like, oh yeah, I see myself back in AEW. So they already are kind of like looking at her like a bitch. Like, you know what I mean? So all of that ain't helping. So it's just going to be interesting how they position this rivalry as far as a face heel component. Because it's basically the most homegrown woman on that roster versus like the ultimate free agent. And I'm not going to say that this is her, but this is what AEW fans might see her as, the ultimate AEW opportunist.
I mean, it does seem like she's the Hulk Hogan of AEW. If she says that don't work for me, brother, then it's not going to work for her. Creative control and such. Scooter, how many stars do you give this?
I will give it about I'll give it about Trey Fitty.
I give this
Trey Fitty.
I give it
Trey.
I give it 3 stars. We knew who was going to win it. The Britt Baker could have been a lot cooler than it was if she actually got in the ring and maybe, took a picture with Mercedes, getting in her face. But, I digress. That brings us to the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship match. Tetsuya Naito defeated John Moxley in 17 minutes and 5 seconds to win the championship. This fell flat for me, if I'm being honest. Tetsuya Naito looked like he did not want to be there. He did not seem like he had his game face on. And the match was somewhat sloppy, if I'm being honest. And even when he won, it just kind of fell flat. And, he didn't seem... I mean, Naito's always been given zero fucks. But it seemed like he gave negative fucks when it came to winning this match. Especially afterwards, he literally just got out of the ring and left. It could have been a memorable match, but it just kind of wasn't. Kaliko?
That's because this shit should have happened in Japan. You defended. I am glad the decision was made to put the belt back on Naito because Moxley's not going to be in the G1, so there's no goddamn sense of him even having the title because it has an implication. The G1 has the implication. So I get that aspect of it. The problem I had was that you had the IWGP Championship, which, keep in mind, they didn't have the title on the line when it was him versus Takeshita. But when Naito pops his ass there, oh yes, for the title. So you can't sit there and pick and choose when it's meaningful. And then you already got a group who AEW, I'm not going to say they're wrestling smart, but I think it would have meant more for Naito to win it in Japan the same way. Remember when Evil beat him and he won the title back at the baseball stadium match in the summer, and it was like this big, gigantic thing? It means more over there than it does there. And it showed because in the way after the match, I mean, people were kind of cheering, but it wasn't like this all-enthralling thing like New Japan crowds would be.
He definitely didn't get the crowd reaction that he would have in Japan, considering, he's somewhat of a god in Japan, and it just seemed like he was just some average Japanese guy
But this is also an AEW crowd. It's not it's a wrestling crowd, but it is and when it comes to this programming, it's an AEW crowd first.
Right.
First and foremost, above all. So of course they're not gonna cheer when their guy gets beat by Naito, which was the right move because God damn it, they need that big belt for the G1. So that's gonna make it way more interesting when Sonata and Naito and Evil all come together in that G1. Cannot wait.
It definitely makes it a lot more interesting, like you said. Clearly somebody in Japan said we need this belt in the G1, and Moxley wasn't the guy to take a month to go to Japan. Yeah, it's just interesting to me the last two times this championship has been the title has changed. It's been in Chicago and New York. That's not a very New Japan. When you have a title that's called New Japan, it's a little weird that it's being changed in Chicago and New York. You know what I mean?
So if there was a Jersey champion and it changed hands in anywhere but New Jersey,
I mean,
Ask Pat Patterson.
I mean, I get what you mean, but the last maybe okay, it changed in Chicago, but then you have it change hands in Japan again. Like even the WWE title only's ever changed one time in the United Kingdom. You get what I mean?
Yes. At the same time, that also that means something. You think it's you kind of think it's a negative. I don't see it like that. It's a story that fans can, that only a select group of fans can talk about. Like I was there the only time the New Japan Championship changed hands in the Empire State. It's not a detriment to the title's lineage. The same way, there only being one world title change ever in the WWE in the UK. So and again, with everything that's going on, eventually there's going to be something is going to happen somewhere that isn't the U.S. And it's not like the WWE is called New U.S. Pro Wrestling.
I get both sentiments. I just think, to me, I get the shock value of losing it in Chicago. I just think because the way that the announcers pushed the story of Naito being disappointed and for New Japan and Japanese in general losing that title, it seemed like that gave me the clue. It means more to win it in your hometown, in your home country.
Right.
I see, but I can see that from the other side as Naito caring enough about the company to go
out and get it
back
exactly
from wherever it's from.
Exactly. Yeah. So I see that aspect. I just think if that were the case, then they definitely should have pumped Naito a lot more, or pumped this match more importantly. But I mean, that's just on AEW at that point.
Oh yeah. Did you have any comments about the match itself, Scooter?
No.
All right. Kaliko, how many stars?
3, I think they could have done better. The right person won. It almost seemed like it was a shock to AEW fans in a sense. So that also could have been, because you've seen all these New Japan cats getting their ass whooped all night. So it just seemed like, it just seemed par for it. Right? It seemed par for the course. So I get the shock value in that. But, but the right person won.
Scooter?
3.5 stars. And that's only because this match was a literal second thought.
I give it 2.5. There was no real heat in it. There was no passion. The crowd it felt like they were sitting on their hands during the whole match. And Naito seemed really out of it. I'll give him one thing. It's probably the best Destino he's hit in quite some time.
He puts it out open that shit.
Yeah, usually the last couple of times it's been a little lackluster, but I'll give him that. This one was the shits. But it was just not the match it needed to be, in my opinion. All right, and then we have the AEW World Championship match. Swerve Strickland, which Prince na hey goodbye. He defeated Will Ospreay in 27 minutes and 5 seconds. He retained the AEW World Championship. Honestly, I liked the match. The last time I watched the Swerve Strickland match, I was completely spent because I watched 4 hours of a crappy paid preview, but I was only 2.5 hours, so I was pretty fresh for this, and I feel like it pressed the right buttons. It showed both guys off the way they needed to. There were some sick spots. There were some spots that I felt were maybe a little unsafe. There were some high spots. I felt like it clicked pretty well, if I'm being honest. Kaliko?
I mean, it clicked. But the biggest part is Swerve losing. I mean, not Swerve winning, which probably was the most important part, because considering now that we see what's going on after on AEW Dynamite Wednesday, MJF going back heel, so that means he's going to be a heel challenger for this title. It made if they're planning that, then it made sense for him to turn heel. It also was like, I guess Will Ospreay put it upon himself to lose this match, which, I mean, if that is the case, it just shows the respect he has for Swerve's title run, because everyone was kind of going down the route that eventually he's going to get it, right?
Yeah. At this
So that's why that's right, and it just seemed like he was just going to be hot shot meteoric to that title. So it kind of eliminates Swerve being the champion, having someone always behind the shadow, which is Will Ospreay. And now it allows him to have that title reign where he can actually be, create his own legacy at that point, and not thinking, well, what about Ospreay? What about Ospreay, right? Because if it never happened, that would have been the only thing that happened.
Right.
Or that would have been the only thing we would have been talking about. So to get it out the way, that's what it means a lot. The story in which Ospreay was conflicted, it just showed, like, you could make the argument that kind of was his hesitation from the Daniel Bryan match. You can make that argument. You know what I'm saying? So the way he lost it leaves that vagueness of he got caught in a flashback moment or whatever the case may be, but he got caught slipping, right? He got caught in a thinking moment. He hesitated. So it's not like he got his ass whooped super clean, but it paves the way for Swerve, and that's what the biggest ultimate is. Plus, his black music, man. He was not going to lose on the same night as the BET Awards. They tripping. They are fucking tripping. As much as I don't even watch the BET Awards, but I knew it was happening. And I'd be goddamn if hold on, BET Hip Hop Awards night. You fucking crazy.
Scooter?
By this point, I had checked out, and we knew what was happening. This really could have been a much different. It could have had a much different build, and I might have thought of it differently, but it didn't get enough shine.
Hey, Kaliko, how many stars? Oh, Kaliko?
I give it, this is worth a 5. It was worth a 5. They put their shit in it. 5. I give it a 5.
Scooter?
I'll give it 4.5.
I give it 4. It was good, but it wasn't, I don't think it was 540. But, now that we reviewed.
So let's get this straight. Lesbian piss 5 worthy. Word, not 5 worthy. Just throwing that out there. 69 stars. Swerving Ospreay, tearing the house down.
Maybe if him and Nana kissed at the end, but
Ew.
Yeah.
The show as a whole, thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle. Kaliko.
Thumbs in the middle. There were some times where they got stuff good, and there were some times where you were like, what the fuck? But all in all, it wasn't really a unpredictable show, which what they need to kind of be more into the unpredictable game.
Yeah.
So in the middle.
Scooter, thumbs up, thumbs down, and thumbs in the middle.
In the middle.
I give this so a thumbs up, but the thumb is cut halfway with some blood spewing from it. I didn't watch all of it. I speed up about a good hour of the 4 hours that was the show. So what I saw, I enjoyed. So I don't regret that. But if I would have seen the show as a whole, it would have probably be thumbs in the middle, thumbs down, the drizzling shits. So for that reason, it's a half a thumb ups. Alright, that will conclude our coverage of AEW Forbidden Door. Maybe next year we'll get the Forbidden House, maybe some Forbidden Floors, a Forbidden Mail Slot, some Forbidden Windows, but that might be a different pay preview entirely. Yeah, and that will conclude this episode as a whole. Thank you for listening. If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment. But on YouTube and Castbox, this was sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. Join us this upcoming Tuesday as we interview Ash Silva. This Wednesday as we interview Solomon Stride. And follow the show at Wrestling with E, both on X, Twitter, and Instagram for information on who we're interviewing, when we're interviewing them, links to those interviews, and so much more. Follow me personally at JamesJ993. Where can we find Kaliko?
I am Kaliko, and the Chronicles is going to Cleveland for SummerSlam. As this, hey man, if Punk, I'm already kind of invested. If Punk and McIntyre SummerSlam, that's gonna be the match of the night. I don't give a fuck what nobody say, but I'm invested in the Cleveland. So I'm gonna get my Bone Thugs and Harmony CDs and just get ready to rock out.
But the question is, are you gonna miss everybody?
I'm gonna miss my Uncle Charles, y'all.
Are you gonna miss everybody?
I'm gonna miss everybody.
And where can we find Scooter?
As always, find me on X at Scooter Dust. And you know, if you happen to see me begging for money on the corner, why not throw a couple of bucks into my cup?
For Kaliko Yachts Scooter Dust, I'm James J, and this has been Wrestling with Entertainment.
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.